Love 50. Love 30.
Well, the first of, I suspect, many. This court's played quite slow into the evening, as it typically does here on Margaret Court Arena. Well, it's a very good morning to Wally Mercer. Wally, I know
30.
You've been speaking with Darren Cahill and very well aware of the talents of Jannik Sinner and also Marton Fucsovics.
Yeah, he's provided some problems for Sinner in the past. I guess there is Darren in shot and in the shade, a wise move. He certainly provided some problems for Sinner in the past in Grand Slam tournaments, but got to remember Sinner's only 21 years of age, so improving all the time. But Sinner has firepower from both wings, but Fucsovics is built. He can kind of stand up
30-40.
to the power. Pretty good example of it there, just holding his ground on the baseline, getting on the front foot. Pretty clean backhand. Not much can go wrong there.
Break point, opening game. That's wild.
Game.
Start for Fucsovics.
That slice, it kept so low, and it's been a feature of the courts this year. It's just the height of the bounce. Both of these players 6'2" plus, and it's been such a feature for me just being around the grounds and around the players area, just the size of the athletes in the game. Oh, you got to like that. Sinner was showing signs of being more aggressive in using his ability to move forward at the US Open. Served him pretty well there, but it's just an instinct here. He can see he's going to take the left hand off the racket. Nice move.
It's the next step, isn't it? The evolution of the game. Where we saw the likes of Rafa really dominate from the back, but I think we're seeing the next generation, the Alcaraz, Sinners, they are prepared to push forward.
And the ground shots are so good. The players are so good from the back that it actually... There is no reason not to come in behind some of the linear ground shots. Requested a close call, but...
That baffles me. That
why do they bother?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to change.
No.
Is that to buy maybe a little bit of time, possibly?
Imagine the day when the call actually changes. It'll be game on. And that return, that's such a big part of the modern game, just belting the return directly back at the serve. I mean, Novak's got it down to a fine art. Sinner does it well there.
Yeah, you almost feel they like to run left or right where they have angle to redirect with angle. When it comes hard and fast through the middle with depth, it's probably their least favourite shot where they can create any space.
40-30.
A little bit of a shank, but this is the return. The double-handed backhand down the line, we're seeing more and more hit in the men's game. Especially I mean, of course, a double-hander, it's an easier return where you can use your left hand, but I think Sinner is using it very well in his early stages of his career.
Advantage, Fucsovics.
Oh, good wheels.
Complete 360. The nets aren't really tensioned.
We've seen a lot, haven't we? A lot of net cords all week.
This actually jumps up a bit. We've seen quite a few dead net cords, so doesn't touch it, lands on the line. Probably should have made this. Fucsovics just had half an eye on Sinner, I think. Good desperation.
How many times in his career would he hit a backhand from that far outside the forehand court?
With his back facing the net.
Yeah, it's good power, isn't it, from Sinner?
Just every shot is a full-blooded drive, isn't it? There's no hesitation.
I think he's technically so sound that enables him to swing hard. Not sure, he certainly, for me, hasn't reached his physical peak. He's only 21, and that's what they've been working on. And
Well, I think most of his energy to this point has been in growing up. Now, with a bit of work, he'll start to fill out.
Lane first.
strong response. Jannik Sinner gets the re-break. 1-1.
1 game on.
Quite a good skier is Jannik Sinner.
I was actually chatting to him the other day because he's from Bolzano, which at one stage
Was
Austria. And German is his first language. Speaks it at home. There's the... How do they travel when they get that early break?
Did you speak to him in German?
I threw a few words in there, but he looked at me strangely.
I suspect there's a
15
there is and will always be a fair bit of expectation. Signed a big Nike deal. So good at such a young age.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Fold.
15 on.
Interesting you say that, Josh. Signs, you're right, signs big deals, big money. Italy's a big market, and he's obviously an exciting young player. And Darren Cahill has worked with a few superstars in the game, Hallett, Hewitt, Agassi. And Darren made the comment, you know, that he likes to work with good people. And, you know, money can corrupt at a young age, but he said Jannik is one of the good guys. Likes to work, respectful, willing to take things on board.
Out.
30-15.
Good athlete, Fucsovics. He's a pretty good defender. Must be feeling pretty confident. Doesn't matter what tournament you win. To win the Canberra Challenger to start the year, coming in with a bunch of matches, winning a couple of tight ones in the first and second round here.
Led first. 40-30.
And, you know, it's important, isn't it, Wally, to schedule. You know, correctly, he's 78 in the world, Fucsovics, and he could have gone and maybe played qualies in Adelaide won, but he's gone, well, I'm going to be one of the top seeds in the Canberra Challenger and back myself in, and he's done it.
Led first.
You would think, wouldn't you, that irrespective of your ranking, you go where you think you can get the most matches. So for him, getting those matches in Canberra and getting confidence early in the year prior to a major, just about perfect.
Good spot, Canberra.
Home of Nick Kyrgios.
Deuce.
You spent a few years there, didn't you?
That's
The
right.
AIS.
Yep, good spot.
Chilly winters, but that toughens you up.
They have that cold breeze, or the wind. Not sure where that wind's coming from.
The Arctic. Antarctic.
Advantage, Sinner. Deuce. Advantage, Sinner.
Hard to push around Fucsovics, isn't he? He's a big man, kind of holds his ground. Hard to get him off or around the baseline.
Yeah, defending very well into the corners. Alex hitting quite a lot of punishing forehands especially, but when in range, he's been strong. I think he goes to the gym.
Yeah,
Fucsovics.
he's a beast. I called a TFO match the other day, and he was the same. He was so strong. It was so hard to push him off the baseline. You wonder where the game goes because
Advantage,
the guys are so
Sinner.
big and so athletic. You wonder what's the next iteration of a male tennis player.
Yeah, they swing so hard as well. You know, if you get the opportunity to hit a few balls with these players, what the ball does off the court as well, it's exceptional. There's just so much velocity and the spin rate when it hits and jumps up, it almost pushes you back.
Game, Sinner.
Well done, a long one, but Jannik Sinner holds serve. 2-1, first set here on Margaret Court
Sinner
Arena.
leads by 2-1.
Be different for him.
Probably needed to go into the open court with the forehand as he approached there, Fucsovics.
Love 15.
But Alex Dimina, he got a racket sent away to be strung, 22 kilos. And it just made me think, Pete Sampras used to string his rackets up around 70 pounds and really tight string pattern with natural gut. Wilson Pro Staff at 400 grams.
Yeah.
Like, the guys would be able to swing it.
Yeah, most guys these days on tour are around 310, 320 grams rackets. So it's much, much lighter, wider string pattern, which creates more power, more spin. The harder you hit the ball, the more it will naturally spin. So yeah, you couldn't swing hard with natural gut. The ball hit the back fence.
Yeah, and just like trying to wield a club 400 grams plus. Good luck.
Tennis is pretty healthy in Italy at the moment, in the men's side especially.
30-15.
Well, I actually thought when I saw the draw come out, I thought Sinner would be playing Musetti, another young Italian, in this third round clash. Fucsovics has taken, Lloyd Harris beat Musetti, and Fucsovics has taken that little section of the draw. But pretty good shape, aren't they? Berrettini obviously at the top of the tree.
Yeah, Berrettini, Musetti, Sonego.
And Josh, they seem, if I look at Berrettini and Sinner in particular, they're not, kind of if you closed your eyes and think of some of the Italian players of the past, even Fonini, they're a little more eccentric. These guys are just really solid citizens.
And really good competitors.
Yeah.
You'd throw Musetti into that as well.
Yep.
Just a youngster, 20 years of age.
40-30.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Different federations, different countries have different philosophies on how to develop players. And it seems the Italian way is to put a bunch of tournaments on.
That's the Spanish way too, isn't it?
Yep.
Just play.
In Europe.
A lot of futures, a lot of challenges. Just learn your craft in the competitive arena.
And I think the advantage of having a lot of the tournaments in your own backyard is your coach or your team can go with you and observe how you perform under pressure. And it's cost effective.
And Europe, I mean, if there's not an event in Italy, skip over to France.
Yeah.
Head down to Spain. It's
Advantage.
it's really the place to be. You'd have to say, though, Josh, the American
Fucsovics.
women's tennis has been in a healthy situation for a while in terms of numbers. And the men are coming. And really making a statement in this tournament.
Well, Fucsovics.
It's a good hold. 27 minutes in and we are at 2-all. So
2 games
it's
on.
playing pretty slow. Not super warm yet. Just around 18 degrees.
Well, there's been a fair bit of chat, hasn't there, Josh, about balls coming out of the can really quick. They get pretty heavy pretty quickly. So the way these guys are thrashing the ball, and we've had 20, 25 shot rallies, for the next couple of games, until we get to the 7-game ball change, you're going to have to work hard for your power. Then all of a sudden, the new balls will come out and things will get lively quickly. Big adjustments to be made.
Lead first. Lead second. Love 50.
A couple of unforced errors here from Sinner. In trouble.
Love
Serve 12 unforced errors. Definitely think just due to the speed of the ball as it fluffs up as matches go on. Difficult for players to hit winners, so the unforced error rate is naturally a little higher than it would normally be. Wow, that's wild. Love 40.
Love 40.
Wow, that
Fucsovics.
gift of a game for Marton Fucsovics. He gets the break and leads 3-2 first set.
Fucsovics leads by 3 games to 2.
Shit.
15 love.
Well, I guess from that part of the court, there's no coming back, so why not?
And that's the difference, isn't it? The modern day player, you could not do that with previous string.
You know, you couldn't hit a cold winner.
No, I mean, the rackets haven't changed significantly with the technology, but it's the string.
15.
Volleying and coming to the net is just so much about the approach and the transition. And you hit it too hard, you got no time to get to where you need to get to and split your step. There's a case there where Fucsovics, he just unloaded on the forehand. Had no time to set up for the volley.
That's a good slice. That
Yeah.
one there. When it was an offensive
30,
slice, short.
But, you know, the answer to a slice, Darren Cain, I'm sure, has told him this, the answer to a slice is a slice. I mean, that was a D-cell because it was so low, it was hard to pick up, it was hard to come over. So just slice this back where it came from. Just ask the same question of Fucsovics. He's just got to make more balls at the moment, Sinner.
Yeah, for me, that's been the one thing that,
He likes to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make balls at this stage.
if I compare him to Alcaraz, it's the one difference. He just is a little loose with the unforced errors.
And maybe a willingness to defend.
Yep.
Likes to get on the front foot. I mean, he should have made Fucsovics play a volley there. He wouldn't have won the point, but just make him play.
40, 30.
It's all well and good when you're playing well and you're winning and you're seeing the ball so well and you can hit your opponents off the court. But it's these patches where Sinner, he's dipped a little in the rankings from his lofty standards.
Let's first set.
That should not be missed.
No.
He should make that in his sleep, that
Fucsovics.
backhand.
But he wants to dominate, doesn't he, Sinner?
Fucsovics leads
He wants to
by
get on the
4
front foot
games
and
to
dominate, but I think he just has to respect the variety and the weight of shot that's coming at him. Mixing it up well at the moment, Fucsovics.
left.
Yeah, certainly using a lot more power at the moment on the ground strokes, Jannik Sinner. Beautiful.
There's the reverse, isn't it? I mean, Fucsovics was about a 5% chance of winning that point, but he just makes him play
39.
one more ball. And over a 5-set match, that matters. So good desperation here. Nothing fancy. Just makes him play. Probably should have gone down the line with that, but I like that sort of attitude. He moves well for a big bloke, doesn't he?
So you can see the difference in the speeds, the average topspin from Fucsovics and forehand and backhand. It's a significant increase. It's 8 kilometres more on the forehand and 15 on the backhand from Sinner. So I'm not sure if that's a tactical ploy, Sinner trying to assert himself hitting that ball that big, but I think Fucsovics has been smart tactically, Wally. He's using his variation better.
And you look at that, that's another missed forehand, and I think it's always a combination of power, spin, and placement, isn't it? So Sinner probably just needs to contemplate the placement at this point. He's got the power.
All right, well done, Jannik Sinner. He holds, but it's Fucsovics up a break here on Margaret corner of the arena, leading 4 games to 3.
15 left.
New balls, slider wide. Why not? Just take
shoot
off.
I mean, it's almost a given, isn't it? You have to serve slider wide with new balls.
Yep. There it is again, unforced error. It's hurting him at the moment.
30 left.
Sinner's, he's already at 18 unforced errors. That's a little bit of a problem, having only just played 7 games.
Thank you. Out. 40 left.
Good change up. All of a sudden, he just rifles a forehand. So it's that variety
Fucsovics leads by
the different
5
spins,
games to 3.
the willingness to defend, make one more ball. It's off-putting for Sinner. He's not getting the rhythm he would like. Coaching allowed, of course. We haven't seen much interplay between Darren Cahill and Sinner at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'd be wrapped with the amount of unforced errors of.
That might be the message.
The lack of discipline, I think. Whether it's that or, hasn't played a lot of matches. Sinner.
That's Darren Cahill. It's a black cap on at the end of that shot there.
Better game from Jannik Sinner. But it's Marton Fucsovics in front, 5-4 first set.
Fucsovics leads by 5 games to 4.
What's it called?
That's a moth that inhabits the southeast of Australia, the bogle.
Right.
You got it like that from Sinner. All of a sudden, there was margin on the forehand. And when you flip the ball up a bit higher, you get a bit of value off the court. It kicked.
15.
And Fucsovics, who's done so well defending, had trouble getting behind a couple of those forehands and finally got pushed deep off the baseline. There it is again. See the height? It just gives him a bit of time to get in the net, a bit of height on the bounce. Not a bad smash in the end, looking into the sun. Big ask, but he's got to make him play a shot there.
15 on.
Andy Murray would have. You're not going to win the point, but make him play it. Even a high defensive lob.
Can't buy first serve at the moment in
No,
this game.
is that a little bit of tension there? Just always a difficult game. Serving out a set or a match.
That'll help.
$30.
Just shows you, make one more ball, because the smash was mishit. And I think he was too deep to try another pass. I think he had to throw up another lob.
40-30.
Set point.
So that's a shank, and look where he is. He's in the shade. You can't pass anybody from there. Just toss it up again.
Well done, Marton Fucsovics.
First set, Fucsovics.
He's played a very good set here on Margaret Court Arena. He's pumped up as he should be. Leads
6
6-4.
games to 4.
Well, two things that Darren Cahill
Second
might
set.
want to suggest to Sinner is
Sinner
first serve
to serve.
percentage has to improve and a little bit more margin on the forehand.
15
It's
left.
rather surprising to me, and I know that the rules, it's a new rule, but you'd think the players would go over there and speak a bit more to their team.
Yeah, it's not
Not happening a lot, is it?
No. Some more than others, but yeah, you would have thought take a bit more advantage.
Yeah, you're paying them to
Half
beat
a
you.
mil a year. Yeah.
You expect something good, something in return.
30 left.
So this is the backhand, that does the damage, but the first forehand was accurate. It was a little slower, more spin, dragged Fucsovics off the court. And we do like to see that, players moving forward. Love seeing a bit of all-court tennis. We haven't seen any serve volley yet. And I'm not saying there'd be a lot of it, but just every now and then as a change-up.
I think the one shot that has great reward on
Requesting replay.
this surface is the shot with depth, because the ball that's struck hard, or the ball that is tried, we saw Casper Ruud, he was trying to shape it and get it jumping. It doesn't really jump at the moment, so I think depth is really
Sinner.
important on this shot. So good start, Jannik Sinner.
First game, second set.
One thing Jannik Sinner can do is he can get hot quickly, where he can reel off 3 or 4 quick games, almost overpower and hit the opponent off the court. I've sort of been waiting a little bit for that to happen.
He certainly did that in the first 2 rounds. I mean, he's dropped 13 games to get here. There's been a couple of 6-love sets. He's kind of raced through his opponents. And it's almost though he expected a bit more of the same today, being a little bit impatient.
He's a patient man, Darren Cahill.
Got to play the ball you get, not the ball you want. He's got the reflective glasses on. We can't read his eyes. We can't see what he's thinking.
He'd be probably feeling a little weary after commentating Andy Murray's match here.
He called that match?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
He's probably asleep.
I saw him this morning. He goes, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Philosophical. So Darren Cahill coached Leighton Hewitt from a very young age through
Lovely
to a Grand
video.
Slam win at the US Open. Got hold of Andre Agassi at the back end of his career, got another slam out of him. Then he flips to the women's game, coaches Simona Halep, and gets a Grand Slam victory there. He's very versatile. Wow, there's a little lapse.
This is
Love
really out of
that.
nowhere. He was so disciplined and tight with his unforced errors in the opening set.
Probably gave himself a little pat on the back at end change there. 1 set to the good. That's a good feeling. Gee, that's bad luck.
15-30.
They're the sort of digs that matter. You know, just jagging that extra ball back. That was unlucky there from Sinner. It just curved slightly wide of the alley by 3 mils, we believe. I like that sort of desperation, though, to keep the ball alive. That should be a fault, but I won't go on about it. I don't know how the ball can leave your hand and you start again. There it is again. At this level, 15-30, you're desperately trying to get back in the match. You just can't give him that. Slightly mishit, he just spun out of the shot a bit early. Once again, it was the slower paced ball that drew the error. Classic volley. I like that. Sometimes players, they get the high volley, they get a little cute, they go for the short angle or even a drop volley.
40-30.
But if you've got a bit of height to work with, just stick it into the open court. This is a nice little 1-2. Forehand cross, forehand line. He knows Sinner's in trouble, straight in, and then you bang it. Perfect. Good volley. So from love, 30, 2 unforced errors on the forehand.
Starting to have 20 unforced errors for Sinner. 1-1, second set.
If you look at the big four, Josh, over the last 2 decades, brilliant players, of course, in so many ways, but they were the 4 best defenders in the game. Murray, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer. They all defended differently, but wow, could they defend? And that's something I think Sinner just has to think about it. At 21 years of age, he's got the offense. Big swing on the win predictor.
Rightly so, I think. That's good respect the win predictor is showing for Fucsovics. No, I think you're right, Wally. I think we associate the greats, the big 4, of just being amazing tennis players, and they do it differently. Federer graceful, of course. Nadal workmanlike, and they have different styles, but you forget just how good athletically they are. And I think quite often the best athletes in their respective sports are at the top of the tree. I mean, no one talks about what a great mover Roger Federer is, but he's an incredible athlete.
Yeah. There it is again. It's the forehand wing.
He's lacking shape on it. The shape. That's got to be 3 feet above the net.
But he's getting the off-pace slice there, so you deal with that. Now this is then stung a little harder. And he clips the tape. So yeah, he's just
Getting under it.
play every ball on its merits.
It's unusual. He normally has good shape on that forehand.
There it is again. The slice followed by the ball that stung a little harder and a little flatter. It upsets him, upsets his rhythm.
15-30.
Small vocal section, Hungarian fans. Bit of a feature at the Australian Open, isn't it? We're a multicultural society. Every country's represented.
Used to be part of Austria.
That's right. Well, part of the empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Ooh, this is troubling for Sinner. 2 break points.
15.
So there's a forehand 6 inches below the tape.
And do you think
not a good miss.
Do you think that's because of his setup? He's not physically in position or not balanced?
I think his forehand's just too ambitious. It's like he's trying to dictate with the forehand all the time. I think he's got to recognise.
30-40.
That will help, one save. But I think he's just got to recognise the situation, and he's got to make Fucsovics beat him. I mean, it's 22 unforced errors, and we're just over a set. That's, at this level, that's just not going to fly.
That's too good. That is quality from Marton Fucsovics. He's on a roll, a set and 2-1 with a break.
Two ways to approach this, Josh. There have been players, and Federer was a bit like that, hit his way out of trouble, just back himself. We know Sinner's got plenty of firepower off both wings. Does he just continue to wail away and expect things to start happening? Or do you kind of dig in, play with more margin, and just start to work Fucsovics over and make it a bit more of a physical battle?
I think it's difficult to give away leads like this in Grand Slam tennis. It's so hard to claw your way back. You may get out of 1 or 2, but you end up paying the price eventually.
Probably the thing I've liked the most about Fucsovics is his variety. He's got power, but he's got a bit of versatility on the backhand. Nice slice, willing to defend, good skills, racket work skills when he's at full stretch, and he comes forward.
Tried to sneak.
So in that rally there, we saw the slice, and every time he slices Fucsovics, the next ball he hits. So there's the disruptor, unsettles the rhythm of Sinner. And look, he's up a set, he's up a break, and he tries to sneak on maybe a ball that was 50-50. But you like the attitude, don't you? He didn't get it right, but Sinner knows that if he drops it short, he's coming.
Yeah, he'll continue to do it.
So just look at that point there.
40.
We're at 30 all. He's down a break. I'm just thinking, what would Novak have done with that backhand return? I know one thing, it would have gone in. And I think that's got to be Sinner's attitude.
Game 2.
Well-placed first serves, and he gets reward. So 2-all.
Fucsovics
Oh, sorry,
leads
3-1
by
with a break.
3 games to 1.
So let's just take a look here. Fucsovics' second serve return placement. He is targeting the backhand side there. So they're the returns. So he's going into the backhand so he can then open up the court and basically attack into that forehand side and do whatever he wants. So that's a good tactic here from Fucsovics, getting into the side that he will get hurt the least. It's funny, isn't it? He
Love
doesn't
50.
seem bothered by it either. That would annoy.
Well, given the scoreline, that
Yeah.
should be very annoying.
I mean, the next 5 or 10 minutes get pretty crucial. You go down.
Yep.
I mean, of course, a double break, it's almost the set goodbye, and then 2 sets to love. Very hard to come back from.
So
Love 50.
2 unforced errors off the return, the last 2 returns of the previous game. Fires a forehand out of the middle, well wide. Double fault, tough end to serve from, probably for the next half hour or so, just looking directly into the sun. But these are not the time to be gifting your opponents 4 points straight.
Didn't miss by much.
15-30.
Good accuracy there from Sinner, 177, so well below his top pace, which is actually 207, but shape through the air, nice slider down the tee, did something off the court. Got there in plenty of time. I probably should have whacked the 2-hander. Just hit it hard straight at Sinner.
40-30.
Drops in.
Sinner.
Good comeback from Sinner, but he's still in trouble. Fucsovics set and a break here on Margaret Court Arena.
That's the shot. Spinning out of it again. Just lifting early. Body lifting, head lifting. As a consequence, the racket lifts. Sails long. Just having a look at the stat there, hunting the third shot as a forehand. So we're talking about the serve, the return, and then turning that next ball into a forehand. Look at Fucsovics there. 96% of the time, he's turning it into a forehand. That's impressive. There it is again. Good defence, Fucsovics. I mean, it was a case of diminishing returns. He was getting deeper and deeper in the court, but he's played well aggressively, but when he has to defend, he will. He's got a willingness to keep the ball alive, just overruns the smash. Little window here, 15:30. Now, Jannik, if there's one thing you must do, is not miss in this point. Make sure Fucsovics hits a winner to win it. Pressure, build pressure. Got to approach backhand. Got a little lucky there. One of his defensive shots virtually skipped off the baseline. Then he got a net cord. But that's what happens when you're confident. Things fall in your favour. Scoreboard is in your favour. This ball just skips the tape. Got to come into the backhand wing there.
Too many options, isn't it?
Yeah.
These days, you've got line, you can lob, you can roll it cross court. You're not going to win that point too often.
No guarantee he wins it if he goes into the backhand, but the odds are a little better. Okay. That's a rare
I think that's
error.
Yeah, I think that's because of he's serving at the difficult end. And, you know, when you throw that ball toss up, you've got the glare in your eyes, and it takes like a second or so to adjust to see that next shot, and that's what it looked like.
Yeah, courts, of course, run north-south. He's at the southern end. So probably for another 20 minutes or so, yeah, looking directly into the sun on the serve. Both players tossing it over their head, looking for more spin. That was a good forehand. That was the forehand. Respect.
Better game from Jannik Sinner, and he's back in business. 3-all.
He just worked harder physically on that forehand. Got around it, sunk low into the court, stayed over the ball, flipped it high and heavy. Okay, we've got a little momentum shift. Fucsovics has just come off the high that he's displayed. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this match, so for about an hour and 15, he was completely on song, Fucsovics. He was aided a little bit by the unforced errors from Sinner. Sinner was 22 unforced errors just at the beginning of this set. He's only 25 now, midway through the set, so he's tightened the screws. Seriously, why would you play that shot?
With the momentum that he had, that was 195 kilometre an hour. Second serve, you got an easy forehand. You're on a roll. Just
hit it.
Just keep going.
I mean, that was a brain fade. Maybe his saving grace is he's up 30 love, so no damage done, but that made no sense. That's the way to work an opponent over. At no point did he bring the net into play on that occasion, Jannik Sinner. He worked hard. His opponent worked harder. That was a well-constructed point. That's the shot right there. That's an absolute cracker. But look at that shape. Yeah. Margin, respect the net. Don't miss.
Darren Cahill, a good player himself, semi-finalist of the US Open. Serve and volleyer.
Game Sinner.
It's a good run of games here for Sinner. He's back in business. He's dropped the first set, but he's in front 4-3 second set.
Love 15.
Oh, just missing. That's great aggression shown from Fucsovics. Just get the feeling he's sensing the momentum shift and he's trying to keep it for as long as he can, trying to stay aggressive. Good look at that serve. It's the platform serve, so it doesn't bring the back foot up. We're seeing more guys serve like this.
I'm for the platform serve. One less moving part. Two best servers I've ever seen, Federer, Sampras, platform.
40-50.
It's hard for the youngsters, I think, the juniors to get power that way because they don't have the leg strength and the development to actually drive up. So more and more players are definitely using it. Good luck. You take it.
He says sorry, but is he really?
Nope.
That's a nice little bounce back because you said Sinner has the ability to get on a run of games. So he needed to halt the slide there, Fucsovics, and he did it in style.
He's pretty technically sound, isn't he?
No, he's good.
There's no real obvious parts of his game or weaknesses where you can go, well, that's what I'm going to target.
No, he's got a really strong base, hasn't he? And his shots are actually quite simple, quite linear on the forehand. Backhand is sweet. Got a good slice, really controls the racket head nicely.
And volleys well?
Yep. Well, let's face it, he's 70-odd. He's just won Canberra. If he wins today, he's going to be top 50.
Yeah, and that's massive because you get into all the Masters series. As we take a look at the Jannik Sinner serve, you can see he's also got the platform with the, where that means that the back leg doesn't slide up.
He's got that nice delayed racket head, hasn't he?
Yeah, that lag.
Ball toss arm goes up quickly, racket catches up. Okay. We had an unforced error on the first point. Crisp return sets up the winner.
Love 30.
Fucsovics, he's in his late 20s. He's been around a while, so played a lot of tennis.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity. You win this, as you alluded to, Wally. You're in all the Masters series. You can build a schedule. you can plan, you can really peak at the right tournaments then.
Wow, 2 backhands. See, this was his undoing in the first set, and it was the forehand wing that was problematic, and
Love 40.
out of nowhere, the trusty backhand has let him down.
I mean, it's probably fair to say it is the difficult end, isn't it? It's you're looking into the sun, but still, this is a poor game from Jannik Sinner by his standards.
And the eyes, look at those eyes. He's dialed in.
Game, Fucsovics.
Now that, for a guy, 15 in the world,
Out of nowhere.
horrible, horrible game.
Nowhere.
Fucsovics leads by
Fucsovics,
5
6-4,
games.
5-4. A very good doubles player.
Yeah, well, good player, full stop, but yeah, excellent doubles play with Heinz Guntard. Oh, dear me. Spinning out of it. He's actually, it's a technical error. I mean, it's not a shot selection error, it's actually a technical error. He's not down over the ball. Head, body lifting. Hips rotating too fast through the shot.
30 love.
Well, there's 1 free point. Typically, you get 2 free points per service game. The modern day male player who has a good serve, and he's certainly in that category. No way!
The one-hander!
What a shot! Come on! Wow! Shot of the tournament. I haven't seen a better shot than that.
Well, given the circumstance too, I mean, you're trying to close out a set for a 2-sets-to-love lead, and Sinner is on him here. He's got him in trouble. That makes sense. Come in, and then it's a one-hander. We know he's got the great one-handed slice, but he's come over the top of it.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who has a double-hander to go back and hit a one-hander, that is near impossible.
And Josh, smart serving. He was in a bit of trouble there off the return, but you know, all his serves have been around 178, 184 on that occasion. You would love to get the bomb, get the free point, but he's actually using his serve, shaping it, making sure he gets it in.
Game and second sets.
Oh, well done,
Fucsovics.
Marton Fucsovics. He is on a roll. And he has raced to a 2-sets-to-love
6
lead
games
here
to
on
4.
Margaret Court Arena.
Fucsovics leads by 2 sets to love. Love.
Variation
And the depth. This is a real test for this young man. He's being outplayed, outthought, outmuscled. And he's the player with pedigree. We're going to learn a little bit about his character right here. We're going to learn about his fitness. Can he do an Andy Murray and come back from 2 sets love down? His fortitude. Awesome, awesome. Every slice hit with purpose. More often than not, he goes slice, bangs the next one. But that was a slower slice drifted deep, and then he stung the next one short. So there's the deep one, and then he really knifes this short service line. Great play. So Sinner's got to come in, not on his own terms, forced to come in. Great match so far from Fucsovics. That's about the worst shot he's played in terms of shot selection.
Yeah, he's really mixed up. I mean, for a double-hander, it's unusual to use the slices he has used as much as he is. He's used that backhand slice, Fucsovics, 50% of the time it's gone to his backhand wing. So he's obviously thought about it. It's a tactic, and it's working.
We called Rude yesterday, and he would go slice 6-7 times in a row. That's not going to get it done. And if he can use slice and then power, breaks up the rhythm of Sinner.
30,
I've really seen, as we see, the backhand spins 50% there, 49% of slice backhands, 11% for Sinner, and he's in real trouble here. Break point, first game, third set, Jannik Sinner.
The worrying thing too for Sinner is the errors are coming from everywhere. Forehands long, forehands wide, forehands net, backhands net. There's not one particular part of his game that's falling down.
Saves it with a big serve, but for me, Wally, I can't see a game plan. I can't see what Jannik's trying to do out here. There's no obvious.
No, he's very much got an idea in mind that he can hit this bloke off the court, and it's apparent so far he can't. But even that, Josh, as a coach, you're really happy with that point from Fucsovics. But he's just making Sinner play one more ball, showing him that willingness to defend. And this sort of effort, it can draw errors later in the match. Might go for a little bit more on the first serve, miss it. You want a free point. This guy's defending so well, he's making that court look a bit smaller. See, that's the answer to a slice. A slice.
Gee, that was an important hold from Sinner. Down a break point, but he survives.
Virtually 3 games on the clock.
15 left. 15. We can't look at this one now.
Don't bother looking. I'll tell you the result.
So we can't look at it.
Play had continued, hadn't it?
But I like that. I like speeding up the play.
The other thing too, Josh, that no match descends into a brawl between a player and the umpire because players get a little paranoid. They're getting a lot of bad calls. Can't argue with the machine.
Fifteen, 30.
Spot of bother here
40.
for Fucsovics. Just a few unforced errors.
We are discussing what can Sinner do differently. How can he turn this around? And one way to turn it around is for your opponent's level to drop.
Beautiful.
Sinner.
Needs it big time here, Sinner. Down 2 sets to love, and that's huge to get a break early in the third.
Sinner leads by 2 games to 11.
Good discipline just to roll this, which means that Fucsovics has to hit that volley up and you will get another bite at the cherry. First couple of sets, that pass was either a winner or a loser.
Yeah,
no in between.
That's exactly what was called for. I kind of think when you've got a low volley, you should go back in behind your opponent. If you've got a high volley, go to the open court. He had a low volley there, tried to cut across it. Ended up ballooning it. Oh, good shot.
Yeah, just like
good
shot. The great volleyers.
Oh, they snaffle it up.
No, but what they would definitely do is bump that into the backhand corner, knowing statistically they're going to get another volley, and it's harder to pass off the backhand than the forehand.
Well, both players in the last 2 volleys both should have been bunted back into the backhand corner. Okay, just a little dip from Fucsovics,
15.
and pretty normal. Hard to be perfect for 3 straight sets. I just don't think Sinner appreciates his rhythm being broken with this slice. 2 slice, 2 cracked topspin backhands, and Sinner shanks it. That gentleman to the right, he's got to put a hat on.
That's what I was thinking.
And when you've got a melon like that, you must wear a hat.
He is disrespecting the Melbourne sun. May not come out that often, but when it does, look out.
Good boy. Came in, missed a volley earlier, but hey, if that's the play, stick with it. You won't win every point. Good to see that he's
30 on.
not going to go back into his shell. Keep moving forward when the opportunity presents itself.
I like he's competing, Jannik Sinner. He knows he's not playing well, but just the body language, pump of the fist. So converting early breaks. Pretty good numbers for both players. Sinner up near 90%, Fucsovics at 82. So if they get the break, they normally convert. So let's just see if Sinner can find his way out of trouble here. He's down a break point.
Time violation warning.
So didn't get to the line and serve within 25 seconds. That's what that time violation is for.
Oh, a little bit angry. But a good one too, wasn't it? Nice, high, heavy forehand. And that gave him a bit of height to work with off the reply. So there's the heavy ball. And now he's got a bit of height. Chest height, that's where he wants it.
And that's hard to hit a winner from that part of the court on these courts. This Australian Open, we've seen it. So many of these just sit and they come back, but that is huge. 156 kilometres an hour.
Led first serve. Led first serve.
Got like that. That's a good response. Missed one volley early, but
Advantage, Sinner.
has had 2 opportunities to move forward since, and he's taken both of them. Good positive hitting. Once again, a bit of height to work with on the forehand. He enjoys that. High ball, punch it open court. Absolutely, nothing fancy here. Just back yourself, run through the volley. So to generate pace when you've got nothing to work with, you've got to have a really solid base. And your head's got to be rock solid. And that's where Sinner's come a little bit unstuck on some of those slower balls. He just spins out of it too quickly. Body lifts, head lifts, racket lifts, and ball lifts. Goes into orbit.
Yeah, it's 2 things for me. That forehand, the left arm
Advantage.
sets the shoulders, it pulls away too quickly, and then his left leg is sliding out of the shot as well. So just needs to be a bit more stable with the setup. bit more purposeful.
A few more kilos of muscle on that frame will help too over the years.
Game.
Okay.
Sinner.
Nice little run of games for Sinner.
Yeah, well done. Jannik Sinner in control of this third at the moment. 3-love up, but he's down 2 sets to love.
Sinner leads by 3 games to love.
Team hungry. Okay, so he's doing a Sinner at the start of the third here. Just out of nowhere, the unforced errors have crept in.
It's hard, isn't it, to win 3 consecutive sets in men's tennis?
Oh, you've got to be so much better than the other guy, basically. I'm so impressed with the depth of men's tennis at the moment, and we're going to lose the big four. I mean, Murray's still doing amazing things, and Joker's still going to win more slams. No, obviously Roger's gone, and Rafa is pretty beat up. And we may never replicate what they achieved. 3 of them have won 20+ slams. I mean, really, that's outrageous. But I've covered the slams this year, and, you know, just watching players 40, 50, 60 in the world and how good they are. There's a lot of good stories out there. And I think it's going to be hard for somebody to really dominate, because I think the gap is closing between, say, a player ranked 80 in the world and a player ranked 50 in the world.
I think someone will. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? You could win 20 slams, but imagine if one of the big four was playing in an era where there was those other guys weren't around. They could have won 30 slams. It sounds possible.
That's the answer to a slice. A slice. Smart from Sinner. That's the way to go. The only thing, Josh, I think, when we talk about this depth, so matches get harder earlier. And, you know, you look at Alcaraz, he's 19, he's already injured. Well, you know, had a couple of injuries. Yeah. And I think injuries are going to be a bigger factor going forward, just because of the physicality of every match on tour. And I've got to scratch my head at the scheduling of some of the top players. I know they made a lot of money in exos throughout the course of December, but there have been a few burnt-out players here.
Another break point for Sinner.
30-40.
So it's a 2-hour mark. It's fairly par for the course at this stage of a scoreline.
Juice.
Worked a little harder there, Josh. More physical over the ball. Did not spin out of that one. Absolutely rock solid.
Advantage.
Head over the ball. Just let the racket do the work. The racket will spin you out of the shot.
Yeah, gets this short, draws Fucsovics out of the court, and that has to be a winner, because if that's not a winner, Fucsovics can nail that cross court. So here's break point number 2.
Let's.
Oh, he's dropped it.
Seen a few drop catches.
Don't like to see the
this
ball kids
campaign.
dropping catches.
Game Sinner.
So Jannik Sinner looks like he's going to race through this second set. Definite drop off in
Sinner leads by 4 games to 0.
discipline and intensity from Fucsovics.
He's just about perfect, wasn't he, for about an hour and
Yeah.
20 minutes.
I think you're right.
Fucsovics, and he just has come off the boil.
I mean,
To be expected.
he finished the year, you talk about depth, he finished the year 88 in the world. And I know he's won Canberra Challenger at the start of this year, and he's moved up to 78 in the world. But boy, oh boy, is he good for 78 in the world.
Yep.
At 78 in the world, you've probably got to schedule in about 4 or 5 challenges throughout the course of the year, where you're just not going to get into a tournament every week.
$30.
And the good thing for Sinner here, Wally, is that whilst he played subpar first couple of sets, this set is happening pretty quick, so hasn't taken anything out of him physically.
That's the kind of shot you can play when you're at 4-love and 30-love. But once again, I like the fact that the slice came in low to Sinner. He didn't get too excited. He just sliced it back up the line. Not a bad shot there from Fucsovics. He dragged him wide, but it's the kind of power Sinner has got when he gets it right. Oh, serve volley point.
Well done.
3/4 in quick. Draws the error. 5-love. Makes a big difference to playing conditions.
Love 50.
Well, I think the best thing that Fucsovics can do here is just hang on. Make sure Sinner serves it out and then wipe the slate clean and make sure you serve first in the fourth.
Do you think there's any great stat when you serve first in a set or a final set? Do you think the stat is if you serve first in a 5th set, you win more?
I can't speak to the stats. It's probably an interesting one, but you just know as a player when you get to that sort of 4 or 5-4 situation, and the difference between it being a sort of just a break point or a set point or a match point just seems rather huge.
Yeah, scoreboard pressure. You want to be in front.
Wow. That's the way to turn defence into attack. We didn't see a lot of that in the first couple of sets from Sinner. He was a little ambitious at times, but that's a really good statement in my book. Willingness to defend, even when you're up 5-love, that sends a good message to your opponent. That's right, Martin, he's coming. Important hold there, really. I think you're right. You want to definitely make your opponent
Sinner leads
serve it out.
by 5 games to 1.
It's funny, isn't it? When someone's playing really well and they're just executing every shot well, we sort of take it for granted that it's easy. And the margins are fine. I mean, that slice just drifting long. First 2 sets, that slice was just finding the inside of the line. And when you're playing a lot of different shots, you've got to be in control of a lot of different things. And Fucsovics, he probably just sat down at 2 sets love up and had a little look at the scoreboard and breathed a sigh of relief. I mean, that is probably beyond his expectations. 3rd round of a slam, completely dominating the 15th seed. And then the lapse of concentration kicks in.
He's only been
at the round of 16 twice in his career. Once here back in 2020 at the Australian Open, and he did it in same year at the French Open.
Let's 30 all.
brings up set point for Jannik Sinner.
40-30.
He hasn't hit the ball harder in this set, Sinner, but he's hit it heavier. And it's just harder for Fucsovics to get the time to do what he wants to do, to dominate, to get on the front foot. That backhand was almost hit out of frustration rather than any real sense of purpose. Set's gone.
Ball. Ball.
Still looking up at the sun, 20 past 1. I thought it would have shifted out of his vision now. Heading over to the west, but still bothering him from that southern end.
Advantage, Fucsovics.
He needs Fitzy's hat.
He's going to be as red as a beetroot. Nice serve. See, he wants to desperately hold here, get this set in the bag. Battled a bit on second serve, hasn't he, Sinner, when he's lost that, dropped that first serve, and he's only winning 38%. Fucsovics up at 52%, so it's a big difference.
Advantage, Fucsovics. Yes.
You got a clap?
Well,
You're the coach.
They don't mind that.
No. You get the feeling he's enjoying playing on a big court. He's enjoying this atmosphere. He's up for the battle.
Oh, the big Hungarian just lent on a couple of forehands there. He's a powerful unit.
Advantage, Fucsovics.
It's not a crazy forehand with an extreme grip. He's pretty linear, but he just leans on it, takes it on the rise. Built a bit like an NRL second rower, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd fit well in the Broncos pack. Got speed about him. I think he'd be a good defender.
Some pretty impressive hitting right about now from both players. On that occasion, it's Sinner just unloading on some ground shots. And, you know, maybe we'll put it down to the sun, Josh, but the ball is bouncing higher and it's a bit livelier. So there's a ball chest high. Sinner enjoys that. He gets that defensive reply, chest high again, and that's when he's really dangerous, when he's got that sort of height of the bounce to work with. And
you know, the ball hasn't been getting up that high, hasn't been bouncing that high.
well, I think we had about a 17, 18 degree day yesterday, and it just really made a difference to conditions.
I think it's warming up down there. You can see the players when they go to the towel, they're very much going into the shade, like Fucsovics is now, and Sinner at the other end, he's also going into the shade. So when the players do that, desperate to get to some shade between each point, and I think it just shows you that this court surface does retain heat, and it feels really warm underfoot.
And it throws it back at you, and it's a bowl, so if there's a breath of wind, you don't feel it at court level.
Who wins from here?
Well, we're going to get our win predictor, and I'm sure the director will flash it up for us after this set. Look, I'm actually going to go Sinner.
Right. Never come back from.
But my predictions have been horrendous over the course of this tournament, so you'd probably want to go Fucsovics.
He's never lost from 2 sets to love up.
Advantage, Sydney.
Hold.
Deuce.
Well, sometimes at 5-1 serving double break, he's going a little bit of a formality because the player that's down on the scoreboard kind of has an eye towards the next set, but Fucsovics is making him work.
Advantage. Sydney.
Excellent set of tennis from Jannik Sinner. And we have a match on our hands here.
6 games to
Fucsovics
1.
leads 2 sets to 1.
Fucsovics leads by 2 sets to 1.
And it's done him the world of good. He's come out on fire.
15 left.
Hold. Out.
30 left.
And Wally, it's like he's had a shower. He's refreshed. He's a new man.
40 left.
Yeah, there was always going to be a bit more urgency, wasn't there? After that third set from the Hungarian. It's nice. I love the way he attacks that ball on the rise. No hesitation. Gee, it's like a game.
It's like a jab.
Cain, Fucsovics.
All right, good stuff. Fucsovics, 1-love.
First game, fourth set.
Bit of a safety valve in the rally. Strength. That the first attempted passing shot, well, he wasn't really trying to pass him, just make him play a difficult volley, but that was just strength. Full stretch. Just a flick of the wrist. You know, Josh, a good volley would have made that second volley. It was not that difficult, but Sinner's evolving his net game.
I just get the feeling Fucsovics knows the importance of this stage of the match early in this fourth set. He will not want to go to a fifth set. He knows he's playing a guy with incredible talent. He'll really have to push hard to try and win this in 4. That will be his mindset. He's serving first. He can create a little bit of scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, you get to that 2-all, 3-all, 4-all situation, things get interesting and tension builds.
I think he'll invest a fair bit of effort, physical effort, mental effort early in this fourth set. That was close.
Indication, though, of that stat that you just showed, because he hit 2 balls to the forehand, the other 8 in that final exchange were all fired off to the back end. It was a 22-shot rally, but he's really targeting the back end now, Sinner.
That is unlucky for Sinner, and really lucky.
And we talk about Sinner can't afford any lapses. I mean, that's a stroke of luck. But when you look at the scoreboard, a stroke of luck at this point of the match is pretty huge.
I mean, that dead. We've seen that a bit, haven't we? The dead let cord, where it just hits the tape and goes over that.
The nets, like, think of the US Open. That would have jumped 6 foot in the air. They're just tensioned.
Yeah.
The net's so tight, but this year at the Australian Open, we're seeing more of that. That's a little Wimbledon-esque.
That's
where it's
not pulled as tight, are they?
No.
All right, break point. Gets it. Well, maybe a little lucky with the dead lead cord, but that is massive for Marton Fucsovics. Stage of the game, 2-1. He puts the racket up to apologise few miss hits in that rally as well, but that's a pretty handy lead.
And that final ball backhand down the line was almost out of frustration. He had the height to work with, but it's tough to hit a winner when you are behind the baseline going line. Isn't that amazing, that little net cord? What a difference.
He was way out of court.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was in charge of the point.
It was just a hit and
Like
hope
a squash forehand that clipped the tape.
Yep. Well done. And if you're coach of either of these players, you'd be sitting out there thinking this is it right here, particularly for Fucsovics. If you're his coach, 2 sets to 1 up. You hold here, you go to 3-love. That's hard to come back from. So there'd be a fair bit of tension in both teams. Be a bit of tension in that shot. Just didn't move as efficiently.
No, but you sort of think, why did he run around that? I mean, it was just a pretty sweet return. He just didn't have time. And he's been so effective just bunting and manoeuvring that backhand around the court. Just not sure there was any need to look for a forehand on that occasion. And he mustn't change a thing. Fucsovics just got to keep that winning game. Of course, you want it to be over, and you want it to be over quickly, but you just got to stay patient, keep doing the things that have gotten you to this point. Okay, that's the kind of stuff we were seeing in the first 2 sets, where out of the blue,
15-30.
he would just fire an error. Jannik Sinner.
So a couple of break-back opportunities here for Jannik Sinner. 4 or 5 so far, and he desperately needs to hit back quickly. That's a good response from the Italian. But it's Fucsovics leading 2 sets to 1. 2-1 4 sets.
Thank you.
Hold.
Oh, the one-hander. Oh, not quite.
It was not bad, though.
Yeah, well, he's just strong, isn't he?
30.
It's not a strong backhand grip that he has when he takes that left hand off the racket. He's just such a unit. He keeps the racket head moving nicely through the ball. Didn't miss by much.
Faulted.
He's definitely enjoying the fact that it's heating up a little bit, Jannik Sinner. I mean, that was a defensive slice, ballooned a little bit, but just have a look at the height of the bounce he gets here. Anything above waist to chest, just about perfect for him.
Yeah, good quick game.
Sinner.
22 degrees at the moment, which doesn't sound that hot, but it's had direct sunlight on the court. It's that bowl-like environment, Wally, that you alluded to, and this court does certainly retain a bit of heat. I mean, this is the one slam where the conditions just change dramatically from day to day, and the players have to deal with it. It's, you know, New York's always hot and humid. The temperatures don't vary as significantly, and it doesn't impact the courts at the other slams as much as it does here. So it would certainly feel a lot warmer than 22 degrees out there right now on this court. Just needs to be careful here, Fucsovics. Bit of a momentum swing. Dropped the first point of this service game.
Punishing rally.
Physical. Both.
Punishing rally.
Look at both guys at either end of the court. They are gasping here. They're going to use every bit of this 25 seconds after that point.
So the big thing in the modern game is, yes, the running, the side to side, the movement, but they just crush the ball. I mean, the way they hit the ball is so physical, so much energy expended on each shot. So that was, we were nudging 3 hours of tennis.
First time I've seen.
Whoop, he's close.
Yeah.
Do you think the umpire could just use a touch discretion there, or you just got to play to the clock? I mean, it was a big point. Both players now have received a time warning.
This is the first time I've seen any sort of obvious sign of physical discomfort for Fucsovics.
And you just wonder, Josh, he's huge. I don't know what he weighs in kilos, but he's carrying a lot of muscle, probably more muscle than is necessary for a tennis player. You know, you look at like a Novak and you look at Sinner, they're like whippets. They don't carry anything. Strength to weight ratio is really good. Well, we've been advised that he's 83 kilos. Well, you'll whack about another 5 on, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be up around closer to the 90.
That's probably when he came on tour. They take that measurement. So he's... Wow.
2 serves and both to the forehand side.
Use.
Gee, that's good.
Oh, my goodness. That's brave. Whew. That was vicious.
Yes. 18-shot rally of just power and precision here from Jannik Sinner. And look at the footwork, the desperation, and unloads, and not even the beast Fucsovics can get a racket on it.
This is a good slice. This will give us a great look. Look how low it is. I mean, it had genuine bite. No hesitation from the young Italian.
Oh, yes, if you don't mind.
The Italian stallion.
He's back in a big way. He's down 2 sets to 1, but he hits the lead. 3-2 with a break, 4th set. Again, Jannik Sinner on a bit of a roll now. 3 games in a row, serving 3-2 with a break. Gee, he's hit this backhand down the line better. This double-handed backhand from Sinner. He misses this one, but Fucsovics has covered some serious court today. Distance run, we have that stat. We'll get to it.
I covered the match last night. Distance run, Manarino. Wasn't a lot in it, but Demon was doing it at pace. Manarino was controlling it, so it was a big difference in terms of intensity.
Yeah, that's that high intensity change. That's when that becomes so relevant. But Fucsovics, he has worked hard physically.
Come on. He's really upped the physicality just in and around the ball, Jannik Sinner. Even that, a few shots just prior, like he's taking care of business. He's really, his balance, footwork, so good at the moment. And then he just unleashes on a cross-court forehand. We're seeing forehands from every part of the court now.
This is the heaviness, forehand heaviness. Average on tour is about 6.4. Fucsovics is 6.6, and of course Sinner with his huge forehand well above the tour average. Oh, these are the little battles within the match where just broken. He's pretty keen to consolidate, to go up 4-2. That would feel like a real win on the scoreboard.
Well, he's just finding another gear, isn't he? As the good players tend to. And that hurts. I mean, these forehands are hurting. They just start to suck a bit of belief out of you. Yeah. And you end up going for shots like that because you know that if you don't put something with quality back into the court, you're in trouble.
That's got to take something out of you, hasn't it? Just always those end-range shots.
If you're losing points off your racket, you sort of think, well, I can fix that. But if the other guy's just smoking forehands past you, it's not a great feeling.
Fault.
40-30.
Sun, not a problem now. The sun has drifted over towards the west. Just an ambitious second serve.
I hope we go to 5. I hope we get a 5th set because, as I said, Sinner has never come back from 2 sets to love down to win in 5. Fucsovics has never lost after being up 2 sets to love.
Game, Sinner.
That's a pretty impressive service hold from Jannik Sinner. That's 4 games in a row, and this is what he can do. He can reel off quick games.
Sinner leads by 4 games to 2.
And it's the forehand, because you've got to remember, Josh, in the first 2 sets, it was the forehand that was letting him down. The unforced errors were plentiful. But now just have a look at the urgency, and he's not spinning out of the shot. Balance is good. He's over the ball, and then he just fires the racket, head still. Big break of the wrist, big break of the elbow. Impressive shot. Oh.
Love 15.
Now that tells me something. And Josh, I just want to throw this at you. So Fucsovics wins the first 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4, completely dominant. And Sinner's a little erratic. Since then, he's won 3 games. It doesn't feel like that, does it?
No,
It feels a lot closer.
Yes, it certainly does.
That's the right time to play it. When you've got your man on the back foot, you don't play it out of desperation or as a cop-out. You play it from a position of strength.
Love 30.
It's like he's played himself into form. He's stayed out here. He's been able to stay out here long enough to play himself back into form. Nearly 3 hours.
He's just flowing now, Sinner. The feet, the balance. Everything is just right. And the court's getting smaller because he's moving so well too, isn't he? He's defending well. And what a run of games this would be if he converts here at this stage of the match. Team Hungary still opting to go without the hat.
Not advisable.
This is Australia, son. You have to slip, slop, slap.
Absolutely.
Game, Sinner.
So he is
New
on a
balls,
mission here,
please.
Jannik Sinner on Margaret Court Arena. He's down 2 sets to 1, but he's up 5-2 in
Sinner
the 4th
leads
set.
by 5 games to 2.
Darren Cahill is a hard taskmaster, but he'd be pleased with the level, there he is, that Sinner has found in this match. But I think what he'd be really pleased with, Josh, is the character that he's shown, the resolve, the fight.
That's right.
Because it wasn't pretty, those first 2 sets. And this is what you want to see from your young charge, the spirit.
He wins this game, and then we're going to the 5th. I'll be fascinated to see what Win Predictor
Well,
says about that.
I know what mine is.
What is it?
Well, it was 51-49. It's gone 70-30.
So,
Right now, 70-30.
but I think there is a stat that says if you win the first 2, you drop the next 2, you typically win the 5th. So,
Data.
we love gig stats. Boy, oh boy, what a great match we have on our hands here at Margaret Court Arena. It's Jannik Sinner, the 15th seed here at the Aussie Open. A rising superstar of men's tennis has fought back into this one. He was down 2 sets to love. Darren Cahill up and about. The whole stadium is up and about because he is playing brilliant at the moment. He's serving for the 4th set here.
Thank you.
Out.
15.
High to the bounce. It's a different match now.
30 love.
You flip the ball up into the air, it's going to kick up off the court. Sinner changing the shape of that rally with a heavy forehand.
Happened quickly, hasn't it?
A little bit angry there. Fucsovics, if he's been pushed around, that would have felt good. He hasn't been able to dominate for a while now. Quite a common tactic now for the set guys to go big second serve wide. Well, if he's hit that cleanly, that is an amazing shot. But I think there was an element with a shank in this. It just dies. Let's have a look. See if we can catch it off the racket. Big takeaway. Well, given the benefit of the doubt, it was clean.
Ball.
Smart play. Brings up a set point.
40.
Chance to take it into the 5th. Hasn't this court seen some good tennis over the last 24 hours? Andy Murray staging a comeback on this one late last night or early this morning, beating Kokonakis in 5.
Ball.
Going the distance here on Margaret Court Arena. Jannik Sinner wraps up the 4th set, and we are locked at 2 sets all. 3 games out of the last 15. That's
pretty dominant, isn't it?
It has been. It's those unforced errors. That's an unforced for me.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't you think even the forehands there from, just having a look at the total, they're 48-42, but the majority of Sinner's errors were early. But don't you think, even though Sinner, he can play some more off-pace stuff, flip it up a little bit higher, and he's getting more value now. He's getting more value off the court. Oh, fortune. Why is it when the scoreboard is in your favour, the luck goes with you?
Well, he hasn't had a lot of those
Love
little
first.
pieces of luck throughout the course of this match go his way. In fact, he's really been on the receiving end. So,
Well, this is really big now for him. He's got to hang tough early. Fucsovics, whatever it takes. Hasn't served volley. Does he do something a little out of the blue?
Ball. Ball.
He's feeling the pressure, isn't he? Wherever he goes, there's no relief.
Love 40. Game Sinner.
a capitulation really from Fucsovics, I believe.
Ball.
Let seconds.
Take a bow, Jannik Sinner. Just, I love it. Massive momentum on his side, firing winners from everywhere, but then the willingness to defend, so important.
15 love.
That's a huge statement. Look where he is, he's in the shadow, can't even see him. What a way to turn defence into attack in the twinkling of an eye.
Ball.
Let's listen.
Wisely lets it bounce.
$30-15.
I always feel in these sort of stadiums where you've got the ball that comes up through the crowd, it goes up above the roof line, then you're looking at the sky. Always easy to take the smash out of the air. Let it bounce if you can.
It's a very good game he's playing after getting a break.
40-15.
He's playing with a fair bit of freedom, confidence.
Isn't he playing with intensity too over every ball? He's just so intense.
40-30.
Big hold from Jannik Sinner. He is getting better as this match goes on.
Sinner leads by 2 games to love.
And as we take a look at the Sinner forehand, that's changed. He was aggressive early, but he was making too many unforced errors. The net clearance was low, and he's changed that as this match has gone on. And he's really found his sweet spot there. The pace and then the height over the net with that combination has really changed this match. It's the forehand. That's been the one shot that's changed in this match.
And I think it's got a lot to do with just footwork, intensity and balance. I mean, he was coming up and out of a lot of those forehands early. He's got it dialed in right now.
15 love.
This is a must-win game.
Oh, yeah. Double break. Arresting that slide, you would think would be a bridge too far for the big Hungarian.
Hold.
It's out of desperation though, isn't it? He's just pulling trigger when he hasn't really created any time or space for himself.
There'd be a fair bit of discomfort mentally for, you know, you'd be thinking, gee, I was up 2 sets to love, I was up a break in the 4th. A lot of those sort of thoughts could possibly be going through his head, and you know, he actually has played pretty well. He hasn't done a lot wrong.
Yeah, he's running out of ideas now.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying to his coach, I've run out of ideas. But when in doubt, it's pretty much like when Sinner was down 2 sets to love. All you can really do is just lock in and say, I'm going to make balls. Just going to.
Yeah, they're the unforced error rates in set 1 and 2. It was low, but as the match has gone on, you can see
It's flipped.
Yeah, 14 there.
But I wonder too, Josh, we talk about. There it is again. He's a big fellow, and you know, you just come off that little bit, half a step slow, little adjusting steps aren't quite there.
15.
And you're trying to pull trigger when you're not balanced. Maybe just a little bit of fatigue. For Fucsovics. Gee, that kicked up. Well above shoulder height.
30-40.
Hold.
Just long,
Sinner.
and that is the double break for Jannik Sinner. 3-love, 5th set. He's up 3-love, double break in the 5th.
Hold.
We've just been informed that the speed limit on the Yarra is 5 knots. Well, that's all that Fucsovics can do now, just settle in and make balls and make sure
Love 50.
he makes Sinner beat him. Don't give it to him.
Hold.
One of his more conservative second serves at 144.
Love.
And I think if you're going to go conservative, make sure you do get it to the backhand. As good as anybody's double-handed backhand return if they can't generate that sort of pace.
Still just showing great effort, foot speed and desperation. I love that attitude. It's fair to say he's probably getting belted a bit on the scoreboard in these last 2.5 sets, but if you are to lose, you want to take something from it. Now, a lot of the players in the locker room or people watching the score would say, well, that was a choke. Well, it actually wasn't. He's played pretty well all match.
Well, the rankings have sort of, sort of come to the fore, haven't they? Sinner's shown us why he's 15, and maybe Martin's shown us why he's in the high 70s, which is admirable, but it's not quite the polish and firepower of Sinner as this match has gone on. So I always think with a slice, if someone asks the question of you, you just ask the question back. So Sinner did float it a little, but he kept it nice and deep. And then he made Fucsovics just create his own pace off the forehand. Couldn't quite manage to get the accuracy, not by much.
Hold.
Game.
4-love, fifth set.
And I'd say as much as anything, Sinner has enjoyed the sunshine. Everything's got a little hot, a little faster, a little bouncier. He's getting more value with his weight of shot and the spin that he puts on the ball. He is the heavier hitter. Team Sinner, they're just urging him on. They would love him to just put the nail in the coffin right here with another break. Just keep going. Put the foot down. There they are. Physical trainers. Darren Cahill, the coach.
Love. On.
Bit of a tired-looking forehand.
30 on.
Played out of desperation, isn't it? It's not. He hasn't earned the right to go for it. So therefore, your visual is horrible. You've just got to hit into such a small spot. He nearly made it. Just asking his team, where do I go?
That's beautiful. Beautiful shot making from Jannik Sinner. He's on a roll. 5-love, 5th set.
Just no way through. He's looking at his camp, but don't bother. There's no answer up there. There's nothing a coach can say or do to turn this one around.
Darren Cahill will be ducking home for a bit of a rest after getting to bed late after.
Oh, he's a bit of a night owl, Darren Cahill. If he wasn't calling that match, he would have been at a pub or a nightclub somewhere. He likes to party.
He called the Andy Murray-Kokonakis match here early hours of the morning. Had to be up early for the warm-up on site for Jannik Sinner's match.
Couldn't you have just said, look, Jannik, you take care of the warm-up. I've had a busy night. How's Darren double dipping? Coaching, one of the potential winners of the tournament, and commentating.
How much money does one need?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I do know that his shack on the River Murray is flooded, so might need a bit of money for running repairs.
Well, this has been a great comeback. First time ever Jannik Sinner has been down 2 sets to love. And come back and
40-15.
In. It dropped in.
Game, set, match.
Well, a bit of a miss hit, but he gets it done. Jannik Sinner. That is one of the best comebacks you'll see.
4-6,
Gets the job done.
6-1, 6-2, 6-1.
Over his good friend Marton Fucsovics in 5.